Yeah.
Sean, is that us? Right, Michael's away. Michael O'Neill, he's gone back to whence he came, as they say. I'm Rowan Hand, this is Destination Newry. This is Fiona Robertson, the senior social worker at Newry Hospice, and Denise Doyle, the woman who has the arduous task of raising funds. And I was saying to you just a moment ago that 20 years ago, I made a documentary on the hospice all those years ago. And the documentary was called Dreaming of Spring. And it told the story of the hospice in that time. And I was thinking it was a house, a place of great caring, the house on the hill. And it was a lovely documentary. If we could source it, I shall have it copied for you, put it into proper wrappers and all the rest of it. And you sell it from the early days. Wouldn't that be good?
Brilliant.
Well, next year's our 25th anniversary.
Wow,
So maybe that would be
goodness sake, wouldn't it be nice to do that? So let's try and source that. The idea of a local walk is less romantic and exciting than a walk to Santiago de Compostela. And that's one of the things that's happening next year.
It is.
You're doing 150 kilometres of that route.
It is,
The
yes. It's
pilgrim route.
115 kilometres, which is the last leg of the Camino
Yeah,
that we're doing.
yeah. And that have you a good response to that?
We
Lots
do.
of
We've
people are
had
coming.
a lot of inquiries about it, and we've had a few people sign up already. So
Yeah.
really, it's just getting the extra people signed up.
Well, you got another one here now.
We
That's
do.
my pledge to you. I'm going to walk that 150 of the Camino this time next year. When is it?
Fantastic.
September?
It's May.
May of next year?
Yes.
What date?
The 5th of May, I think. I need to confirm
Until?
that, but it's for 8 days, so the 13th.
Well, I'm going to stay there and celebrate my official 70th birthday
Fantastic.
on the Camino. And I'll just maybe lose myself for a year, my
Yes.
70th year on the Camino. Sean is sorting your microphone out there. Oh, Sean, what are you doing? He does this thing, but it's technical and he knows all
yes.
about it. There's Bell that's in the camera. There we Oh, what? This is a switch.
switch over.
This man is very technical. He's very, very good,
Knows
and
his stuff.
he's constantly monitoring to make sure that it's right. Now you got a twist and everything, Sean. There we are. So that would be nice to do, and I look forward to that. So you've
Fantastic.
good response to it, yes.
Yes, fantastic response. Now.
Yeah, because it's a wonderful, wonderful way. It's a life-changing experience, the Camino. Have you done it?
I haven't, no.
No, you done it?
No.
No. What does a senior social worker do in the hospice?
I manage the social work and the chaplaincy teams.
Yeah, I know what
for the hospice.
chaplaincy teams do, but what do social workers do?
Well, really, we meet with the patients and with their families, and we also interface with community services.
Yeah.
So we deal with issues around, the discharge of patients, ensuring that they have the proper care for going home.
Yeah.
We also work alongside the families and the children and support them when someone is terminally ill.
It's very, very much part of palliative care, because one thinks that Osmond gives the injections and keeps people right and all the rest of it, and you don't automatically think that social work is in there alongside that in the scale of importance, but it is, because people's attitude, people's mentality, people's fears, people's happinesses are all part of the formula, aren't they?
And people, come to us with their illness, but they also bring everything else with them as well. There are other parts of their life that need to be
Good parts and bad parts.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and the good parts you benefit from, because you're encouraged by their fortitude and their
Problems and issues and needs and all of that. And as a part of a multidisciplinary team, the chaplains, the social workers, physios, nurses, doctors, we're looking at all of that.
Yeah, because if I get a
addressing all of that.
diagnosis, it just seems to me, if I get a diagnosis of cancer, they don't stop sending me bills.
No, they don't.
I might stop paying them,
No.
but that's another matter. I hide myself on the Camino
Yes.
forever. That would be a good
And your housing might be an issue, and
Yeah.
benefits, and just all of the things that life throws at each one of us. But sometimes you just need that wee extra bit of support.
And also you have Macmillan in there with you, the nursing service.
Well, I suppose not Macmillan as directly as that. We have the specialist palliative nurses,
Yes.
and some of them were Macmillan nurses, and
yeah.
of course we have our own nurse out in community as well, who's part of that specialist team.
How do you, the need is great. The incidence of cancer grows all the time in our part of the world for some unknown reason. It's there. You have your own nurse in the community. How does one nurse cater for all of the need.
Well, she's part of that specialist palliative care team that I mentioned that covers the whole of the southern area. So she carries her own caseload of around about 40 patients at any one time. And it's obviously part of our work that we would love to extend and would hope to extend in the future.
And what's stopping you?
Well, I suppose the thing that stops most people, yes, it does come down to that as well, you know, the funding issue of
And
it.
what does it cost for a nurse for a year, roughly?
Oh, I'm going to take a ballpark figure
I think
of
ballpark's all I want.
probably we're talking in around 40 to 50,000 for a full-time nurse.
So if you had a guarantee outside of what you do, which is hugely important, because you're looking for millions to keep the thing going.
Yes.
But if you had a guarantee of 50,000 for a year, with the possibility of it ongoing, you could put another. You would want to put another nurse on the road.
Yes, we would, in conjunction along with the trust, because obviously we have to ensure that, and we know that the need is there, and we have to be in discussions as well where the nurses would work in the areas they would cover. But yes, we'd be very keen to develop all of our community.
I just want to make a very brief appeal, because I want to do that now. Now that when we're talking about it, here is a very specific situation that you've heard on the programme this morning. For a figure of £50,000, the hospice on the hill, the Southern Area Hospice, would be able to put another caring nurse on the road and possibly double the patient catalogue from 40 to 80, looking after the needs of those people. What better thing could you do with £50,000? My old friends in India, the people of the Hindu tradition, would say that that which is kept is lost. So if you've got £50,000, for goodness sake, and it's not that much money, give it to this woman or this woman at the hospital. Go up, get in your car today, get your checkbook, and go to the hospice and sit down and ask for Fiona Robertson and give her a cheque for £50,000. It's not such an impossible thing, because there are those of you out there for whom £50,000 is very, very little indeed. I think that's my appeal done. We'll go from there. So annually, what do you need to raise in the hospital?
Annually, with fundraising, we need to raise £2.3 million this year.
Yeah.
And it is proven very difficult, I have to say. But we have taken in a few new events as well, including the Camino, to help us make up that downfall, hopefully.
I have this belief, and pray tell me I'm wrong if I am wrong. Hospice care at the end of her life should be looked after by government, first of all. That's my political statement. Government should be doing it. Okay, government's not doing it, but there should be an opportunity for people like myself, others, to say, look, we want to pay an extra, all across the land, an extra amount of money in our taxes every month, and that amount of money will be ring-fenced for hospice care and whatever. Yes. I would love, and also the business of, I kind of think the business of having to go out all the time into that exhaustible bowl of kindness, it's going to disappear at some stage. That's difficult enough, and maybe the time has come to try and find a means of getting people to sign up to a constancy of substantial bankers' orders, and a campaign of substantial bankers' order. Do you do that at the moment?
We just have our regular givers at the minute, who would be people who give on a regular basis, maybe on a monthly basis, who give like a set donation, and they're fantastic to us as well, you know, so we do have to appreciate every penny they give us.
Of course.
But the general public are fantastic anyway, and they are trying to help us as much as they can.
But you see, as the general public, what we're doing is we're looking after ourselves, aren't we? Because it's not charity. It's not a charitable giving. It's a giving out of an awareness of necessity, an awareness of what you've done in the past, what you're going to do in the future. That's what people want to be.
Many families have been funded by the hospice and have had involvement with us. I was thinking as well, Denise, we have the Give As You Earn scheme.
We do.
And some employers have signed up to that, and that's a little bit about what you mentioned there. You know, it's a regular subscription out of your salary.
Yeah.
Taking that source, really.
You see, I think it's easy for me sitting here removed from the coalface of your working life. It's easy for me to say, let's do this. But I do believe that if one was going for pay as you earn, or give as you earn, if one was going for a system of bankers' orders from the general public. If one was going for that kind of area, 2 million that you have to find isn't an awful lot. And yet, you're finding, as I'm finding in Africa in my work, it's coming down to a small group of dedicated people who are giving all the time, you know. So we'll talk a little now, if we may, about the great walk that's coming, the Midnight Walk.
Yes.
Whose idea is that? Where did that come from?
The Midnight Memory Walk has been going. Will be the 6th year of it. But this year we've turned it into more of a memory walk, so that people can do the walk in memory of somebody.
Yeah.
And it is a bit different because we are setting off at midnight, and it is starting from St Coleman's College in Newry, which is going to be our base this year. So really we're asking people to sign up, Rowan, and it's £5 to register, and we're asking individuals to raise £20 sponsorship to take part. For goodness sake. So we are hoping that people will raise over and above that. Yeah. But it is a fantastic walk, and it's only 6 kilometres.
What makes it fantastic?
Because it's at midnight, I think, and we're going to have the Sheridan Gospel Choir there, who are going to do a few songs for us as well. Wow. And also we're going to have like a reflection ceremony just to remember the people that we're there to celebrate before we head off at midnight. And it is open to everyone of all fitness abilities, because it's only 6 kilometres.
Yeah. And we're going from where? From
it's going from St Coleman's College, down the Armagh Road, onto Canal Street, round the front of the courthouse, out the Belfast Road to the Mourne Country roundabout, then up to the Five Ways roundabout and back to St Coleman's. Wow. So it's just a loop.
Yeah, that's a loop. Yeah. Well, that's another thing you can all do with great ease. And if you're viewing in Manhattan or in Toronto or in Baghdad, you can do your own memory walk on the date and raise money and send it to these guys. The hospice in Newry will find them with the greatest of ease. But it's ongoing, and the need is ongoing. And you're seeing it every day, Rosemary, yeah? You're there, or Fiona. And I suppose a general question is the human condition at that point in their health lives. Are people characteristically strong or weak, or is it an agenda of change? Do they become strong starting weak? How does the enormity of facing the prospect of the end of your term on this planet? That's a big one to come to terms with.
I suppose what I would say is that we are all individuals, and it's a unique journey for each person. So you couldn't say that people are strong or they are weak, because everyone is different, and every family is different, and we care for people not only in that terminal phase, but much earlier on in their diagnosis and in their journey.
You've built a friendship.
Sometimes, yes, we've had people. We have patients who come in to us maybe 3 or 4 times in the course of that journey, because we're working not only with those who have cancer, but those who have AMS and motor neuron disease, so other conditions as well.
My own sister died with you in the hospice, Fiona, and she passed away. Oddly enough, she passed away. I got the call at 4 o'clock in the morning. My brother Ignatius called to say Fiona had died. But I couldn't go to the hospice to see her, because I was on a flight at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock that morning for Dallas. And the art community in Dallas was giving me $20,000 for my African school in northwest Nigeria. So I could not go.
Yes.
So I left Newry with my dear darling sister, reposing in the hospice, and I was going on a journey to do something that was better. And that was my rationale at that time, Yes. So it's the relationships that are built up behind the medicine, behind the facade, if you like. It's the heart-to-heart, the human contact that exists that makes your life as a carer fulfilled, I suppose.
I mean, between the staff, and also I would say very much between the families that are there. And that's something families would talk about. They meet people who are in a similar situation, and they support one another. People they would never normally have met in the course of their lives, and yet a bond is established, and it's often maintained. And they may well meet at events like this, like the Memory Walk, and the other events that we hold, to help people to commemorate their loved one. And we hold different events throughout the year, this being, one of the main events.
Yeah. So the thing goes on and on and on, and we keep seeing the photographs in the paper of generous people giving you checks. But I remember the little documentary I speak of,
Yes.
the lady who was passing away at that particular moment, an old lady, and obviously we had all the correct procedures. Confidentiality was respected, and it was done with delicacy. But I always remember the little lady there. She was lying in her bed. She must have been 90 if she was a day. And I remember the colour. It was a blue knitted cardigan, and under it she had a pink nightdress. And she was lying there, not unconscious, but she was gentle. And her son was sitting at the bedside. And on the bedside, he was reading a book, and her cardigan was rising and falling, just gently, rising and falling. And it was the cardigan of millions of grannies all over the world, possibly that she had knitted herself at some stage. And it was an amazing thing, and that particular sequence went from the chap reading the book in onto the clock, and the hand of the clock was turning, and the woman died very shortly after that, you know. And then on a Christmas day, on another occasion, hospice memories, maybe that's a thing to do as well. Hospice memories. Christmas Day having to go up when Paddy McAteer, my friend from the swimming pool days, Paddy had died. It wasn't a surprise to Paddy that he had died, because he ate cigarettes all the days of his life, and he could, no, I'm all right, I'll keep going. But Christmas morning, to be up there for an event like that, you know, that sort of thing. And then another lady I remember going to meet and to visit there, a dear, lovely lady. She was there, and I was talking to her, and she suddenly said, she had her little books. She says, "Ron, I can't go on talking like this. I have things to do here. I haven't even started to get myself ready for this." And she reached for her book, and she's sitting up and she's reading her book, you know. So how do people, I'm sorry for rabbiting on, but how do people get involved in this great adventure of Midnight Walk?
You can give us a wee call up at the fundraising office for an information
What's
pack.
the easiest way what's the best number to get you on there?
It's 302 51 333.
My eyes have a terminal illness. They're deteriorating all the time. 302.
Yeah.
Okay.
51 333.
302. That's easy. 302 51 333. So really, if you have the £50,000 that we want Fiona to have from you to put another nurse on the road, that's the number to ring. 302 51 333. That's for the £50,000 that we need this morning from you. And if you've got the money, there's no better way of spending it. As the Hindu man said, and I remind you of it, that not given is lost. And that's where it is. So also for the Camino?
Also for the Camino, and also for the Midnight Walk.
For the Midnight Walk.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see you again.
You will.
You go well. Take care. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Fiona, God bless you. Take care. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Sean, let's have some music, please.